All right. So let us get going without wasting any time. Hello, namaste, adab, sat sri akal, kya haal chal, assalamu alaikum, kaise ho tum? Namaskara, vanakkam, kemo nacho, kasakai, kem cho, jai jinendra. My name is Harsh Sharma and I am going to be your host for today. And I personally feel that I'm so glad and honored to host the legend, the one and only Pankaj Advani sir. So welcome. I am speechless right now that I am sharing a screen with you. I am hosting you and you being a part of Umang and being in a conversation with Umang 2021. It's already an honor for us to have you here. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here. We are amazed at the number of languages you know. I wish I knew so many languages. It's never been my strong point, but anyway, thank you for having me at Umang. And thank you for having me at Umang. And just wanted to say a big hi to all those who are tuned in and who are listening and watching.
All right, everybody. I know everybody is quite excited, quite glad to looking forward to this conversation. But before we begin, I would like to introduce you to our audience once again. We all know Pankaj Advani. There is nobody who would not be knowing him, be it World Championship, Asian Championships, or National Championship, or anything. He is India's most achieving sportsman, and he has got every title in his KT. And he has won 24 World Championship titles, and there is nothing stopping him. And I see there is more to come, and more to come over the years. The biggest name in Q sports in the country, also determined to share his knowledge of Q sports with young minds and help people them mark in the same. The legendary man chose to stand out of the box and defined less talked about sport. His proficiency is both billiards and snooker that sets him apart. He has done his schooling from Bangalore, and he has also lived in Pune. He has been showed the right direction towards snooker and towards billiards and towards this sport by Dr. Shri Advani, who is a performance psychologist. All right. And he recently, I heard he got married to a very nice person, that is a celebrity makeup artist, Sania Shahidpuri. And I'm really glad that, sir, your life is so happening and there is so much into your bag. How much ever I talk about you is going to fall less. And there is no less introduction that I can give apart from जितना भी मैंने बोल दिया उतना कम रहेगा, जितने achievements है आपकी उतनी भी कम पड़ेगी. But we are glad to have you here. So how are you feeling about being here? How is it going with you, sir?
Great. Thank you for the lovely elaborate introduction. Yes, my life has been very, very busy, especially after I got married. And I'm sure, the people who get married will tell you that life changes. Of course, more of it for the good and for the positive. But yes, it's difficult. At the same time, it's interesting to balance your personal and professional life. And that's exactly the stage I'm at right now. Of course, because of COVID, the career and the professional commitments were less. But now that things are coming back to normal, we've got ourselves vaccinated. I'm sure, a lot of people are now coming back into that full, mode of going back to their careers and right. We're getting busy all over again.
Right.
So it's interesting to play, to have that kind of balance. And yeah, my life is extremely busy. I don't know if it's happening, not always, but yes, when I do win tournaments and when I do sort of do well in the game, and especially for my country, yes, you can say it's happening.
All right. And I guess all the audience over here would like to know more about you, would like to get to know you better as a person. अब तक जो भी आपको जानते हैं, जितने भी लोग आपको जानते हैं, have been knowing you for playing the sport, for representing the country, bringing honor to the country, bringing Lawrence to each and everything for this country, and being the world #1 in this field. And I mean, that is such a great achievement. And audience, could I get a thumbs up from you guys if you all are excited with this conversation here? Kya baat hai, everybody is really excited. So let me begin with my first question. I would like to know when did this thing come into your head that okay, this is my sport, I'll choose this sport, and I'll start with this sport. So how was it like? When did you first start it?
Yeah, the thing is, I was 10 years old when I started this game. Okay. But I used to play many sports, your table tennis, cricket, badminton, all your physical outdoor sports.
Okay.
But the moment I got introduced to this game, I want to share with all the people watching, listening, that my brother used to go to the snooker club, and I was very tiny. I was just, really short. I could barely pop my head over the table. So, मैं जाता था रोज, and I was not allowed to play. For first 3 weeks, I just observed कि यार कैसे वो bridge रखते हैं, कैसे queuing करते हैं ये लोग. What is the stance, technique, everything about the game. What are the rules? How do you strike the ball? And for 3 weeks, I just sat like a very obedient student. Just like you're in a classroom.
Yeah,
मैं bench
right.
पे बैठा और देखने लगा कि यार ये कैसे कब game खेली जाती है. And I said, now enough is enough. I want to try my hand. After 21 days, I said, I'm going to try my first shot.
And by then you were, what was your age? 10 years?
I was still 10 years old only.
Okay.
In 3 weeks, my age did not change. So I struck the ball and the ball disappeared into the pocket. The first shot ever on the table. Now, normally, typically when people play this game, and I'm sure a lot of you, the college kids have played it, they either scoop the ball, or they tear the cloth.
Yeah.
On the
My
table.
first shot was मैं मारने गया था. वो बॉल को लगने के बाद स्टिक ही हिल गई तो इधर भी लग गया वो भी लग गया. But yeah, that first shot is really memorable.
So many times people miscue. When there's a miscue, that means either the ball goes on top and jumps, or the cloth tears, or the ball goes in a completely different direction.
Right.
But my first shot, I don't want to boast to everybody, but this is how my journey started. The ball went into the pocket. And as they say, rest is history. But I was obsessed. I was so passionate about this game where even when I used to go to school, I used to sit down on the desk. I used to imagine balls on the table. I used to imagine balls on the blackboard where the teacher was explaining the lessons. I was completely consumed by it, which I never found with any other sport. Yes, I know, we are obsessed about our physical sports, especially cricket and all that now, football, kabaddi and all. But here is a sport which people thought, this is not mainstream. So what do you do with it? But if you have talent in it, and I felt I had the talent, I wanted to take it up a notch further. So I joined the state association. I met my coach over there. Of course, my brother introduced me to the game. And I had a great team behind me. But of course, it took me a few years to realize that, I can make this a career.
Right.
And I realized this when I was still in school in 2002, at the age of 16, where I reached the semi-finals of the World Junior Championships and the finals of the Asian Championships, all at a very young age. But because of my lack of experience, I lost those big matches. But I said, if I can reach the top 4, top 2 of international events, I'm sure I can go a step further.
Exactly, yeah.
And sure enough, in 2003, I thought I'd share another incident where I went to my, college campus, Mahavir Jain College. I just enrolled in BCom, and it was my first year. You all call it FY, I think, right?
FY.
FY BCom. And I entered the college campus, and my college sir said, what are you doing over here? So I said, sir, I've come to attend classes. So he says, why you want to attend classes? Go back and practice.
Everybody just wanted you to focus on your sport and just keep going and not stop, I guess.
Yeah. And he said, you just go back. Then I said, sir, okay, I thought I'll come and, just learn a few lessons. I'll at least gain some knowledge in, class. He said, no, you train. We want you to become world champion. Okay, by the way, when will you become world champion? And this was during, maybe about June 2003, roughly. I said, sir, maybe at least 2 years I'll need. I'm training, I'm working towards it. Little did I know, those seed of just that one thought that I can ignite you and they say, somebody has asked me this, maybe they believe in me. Maybe they have that faith in me.
Yeah, right.
And sure enough, in October 25th, 2003, I won my first world title within
at the age of 18 years, being world's youngest player to win the world championship title.
Yes, the youngest from Asia at that time. And he was amazed. He said, I told you that, you're going to win this. And you told me 2 years, but why you won it so soon? So I said, sir, it just happened. I really don't know how. I was the complete underdog. I had absolutely no experience going to that tournament, but maybe your thought and your faith and belief in me maybe triggered that moment where I felt, okay, I could actually really do it. And it was one of my best victories till date. It was one of my most special achievements because I defeated a Pakistani player in the finals. And I know India Pakistan बहुत लोग का बहुत सेंटिमेंट
मौका हर साल चलता है, मगर आपका मौका तो शायद तक उसी दिन आ गया था जब आपने खुद जीत के साथ का झंडा लहराया था.
And coincidentally, Harsh, the last victory, my 24th world title victory, happened also in the finals against a Pakistani player.
Wow.
And, so my first and my 24th, both of them were against Pakistani players in the finals of the World Championship.
Okay.
So that's, again, very, very special.
It is indeed very special. And, me listening to these conversations and, the real stories of, how things were and how it was. Like, agar wo ek hota hai, theek hai, ki, if I am aiming something, or if, anybody is aiming something, if you do work hard every day, every single day, people will believe in you. And one or the other day, you will sit where Mr. Pankaj Advani is sitting right now. And, you can see the world through that. And, you can see people looking up to it. That, yes, you can do it. It's not impossible. But then, obviously, the efforts, the hard work, and, the talent, it is also necessary. So, yeah, that is there. And kabhi aapke dimag mein aisa strike hua ki, कि while you were playing the sport and while you were learning, and that age is very fragile, okay, कि अगर आप बच्चे होते हो and you are playing some sport, you are liking one sport, but then there is side by side many things happening, many things are distracting you, many other sports are distracting you, your friends are like कि अरे चल ना आज ये क्या कर रहा है, चल वहां जाते हैं. So is there something that held you back or something like that ever, like any different sport, anything else?
To be honest, I didn't even have much of a college life. As I told you, my sir told me, listen, you go and train. So we don't need you to attend classes. Fortunately, they gave us a 1-month crash course before the exams. And this was organized only for sports persons.
Okay.
So their respect for sports persons was at another level, which is why I never needed to go to college. So my attendance in college was 7% first year, 0% second year, and 11% third year. So I hardly had any kind of social or college life. Of course, I'm making it sound very boring, but I did have a group of friends who were more inclined towards sports and who also, like, for example, Robin Uthappa, the cricketer. I recently won the IPL for Chennai, so I was very happy for him, and he did well. And some, Shikha Tandon, who was an Olympic swimmer, and many other people who were, tennis players and stuff from the college who were also training throughout the year and playing tournaments.
Okay.
So we had a good group of ours, and we used to also hang out together, chill. And then, of course, when the exams came, we all studied together. And in our limited capacities, we performed and we passed with reasonably good marks. So, but yes, definitely there were sacrifices. I wouldn't be, I'd be lying if I said that I had a normal life and I would attend, parties and go out and, do everything that a youngster does and then still play the game and excel in it. I had to make those sacrifices, and I willingly did it. It's not that I was forced to do it, because I love the game so much, because I was so passionate and I wanted to do something with my talent. Unfortunately, many of us discover our talents very late in life. And I feel that fortunate are the ones who are those who are able to figure out early that, okay, this is where my gift lies, this is where my talent lies, and pursue it and enjoy also doing what they do.
Absolutely. I mean, and having the circle, and now the names that you said, like the group of friends you had, and everybody is excelling in their respective fields. So, I mean, if you had that circle, and that is why, it was all कि चल तू उसमें जीत, मैं इसमें जीतता हूँ, मैं अपने इसमें, हर कोई अपने अपने फील्ड में एक्सेल कर रहा है, बस अपना ही ग्रुप देश चलाएगा, अपन ही लोग राज करेंगे हर एक स्पोर्टिंग इस पे. But yeah, it was really nice to know about those real things, because हम लोग बस ये देखते हैं कि most of the people just see the victories and they do not know the journey behind the victory. And it is very much needed for everybody to know the journey, because one or the other day even they will have to travel that journey. And until and unless they know, and I don't think so that anybody, it is that easy as it sounds, because it is clearly not.
No, it's definitely not. In fact, my first international tournament that I represented India in '99, I remember my mom had to break an FD and actually fund my entire trip.
Okay.
In India, only when you're a somebody and when you've achieved at a certain level, you get that kind of support.
Right.
Before that, you have to invest. Of course, fortunately, our sport is not very expensive, unlike some of the other sports like tennis, badminton and all, and contrary to what people think, yeah, billiards, snooker, ameen log ka game hai, which is not entirely true, because all you need to invest is in a cue, the cue stick with which we play the game with. But of course, traveling initially was a bit of a struggle, and especially because I lost my dad at the age of 6. Things were difficult for us for the first few years. But, post 2000s, especially, 2002, 2003, when I started performing at the international level, support started coming in even more, and things became better. So sometimes you have to be patient. Yeah, it's like and the gully boy dialogue, yaar, apna
Right.
time aayega,
अपना टाइम आएगा.
maybe not now, but आएगा, जरूर आएगा.
बट आई फील आपका टाइम काफी सालों से चल रहा है और हर साल आपका टाइम आता है. एंड इट्स लाइक हर वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप, हर कोई भी इवेंट हो, एवरी वर्ल्ड टाइटल में आपका तो नाम आता ही है. सो दैट सॉन्ग आई गेस इज वेरी रिलेटेबल. एंड यस इंडीड, वो बात तो एकदम सही कही आपने. सो आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क यू, आउट ऑफ so many victories, out of like more than 20 world titles and so many, I mean every kind of title you have in your kit bag, what was the most special achievement for you in your career so far?
See, there have been many special achievements because 24 world titles. I never imagined that I would win so much at the start of my career. But I would like to share one of the stories where one of the titles in 2019. Now this is a title I hadn't won in my career up until 2019. It was the Asian Snooker Championship. And a lot of media people also wrote that this is his only elusive title. My former coaches also were asking me, you've not won this. And it would be like everybody is trying to rub it in.
Yeah.
And say, what?
Jeet,
Yeah.
jeet.
Yeah, so there was extra pressure. And I lost 4 finals in these championships over the last 10, 12 years.
Oh my God.
And I was again into yet another final in 2019. This was in Doha. And Doha in June is so hot. It's like an oven. I can't tell you, like 50 degrees. So you're going out of the venue completely hot. You come inside AC. So that back and forth of going out and in and, the change in temperature, I think I got very sick because of that. Okay. And I had very, very high bout of fever during the final. And I remember in the interval, I was down 3-1 as usual, doing badly the finals of this event. And I took a break, and one of the organizers said, yaar, I'm sorry, yaar, this time also, haath se nikal gaya. I feel very bad for you. And I told him, I said, yeah, thank you, for feeling bad for me, but I'm not giving up. This match isn't over as yet. Yeah. It was best of 11, so whoever wins 6 frames first wins the match.
Okay.
And all I was surviving on was tea. My mom calls me a chai bhai because everybody who knows me, they know I love my chai, whether it's morning or whether it's evening or anytime I get up. And especially during this final where I couldn't even eat anything because my throat was so it was irritating me so much. Yeah. I said the only thing I can survive on now is chai. And I just survived on that 3-4 cups. And I said, listen, I'm not going to give up. I told that organizer also, this match is far from over. I may not win it, but I'm definitely not going to give up. And I fought my way through. I fought. And until I realized I was 4-3 up, 5-3 up. And suddenly I realized, my God, I just one more frame. Luckily, my opponent's level had also dipped a bit because he started very well. But I think the fact that I'd made up my mind, main ladne wala hu. It's not over until it's over. Right. That itself changed my body language. And I think my opponent saw that. He started getting a little more scared. That fear factor started building up. Right. And I just feel like it's all about what thoughts you send out. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like a mind is a thought producing factory. Most of us, we tend to think negatively. You think, yaar, agar ye nahi hoga, to ye nahi hoga. Right. If we miss this shot, I may lose the entire match. Or मैं interview के लिए जा रहा हूँ या exam के लिए जा रहा हूँ. यार अगर मैं by chance if I forget, if you send out that thought, you are attracting that much. Yeah. So this time I approach things very differently, and I shed the baggage of the past, saying that I've lost all my finals before. This time I'm going to think different. I'm going to fight. To hell with it. Whatever happens, I may win, I may lose. It's okay. But just the fact that I changed the mindset, even though I was experiencing a high bout of fever, I think turn the tables around literally.
I guess, and उससे ज़्यादा special आपके लिए क्या ही होगा, wherein nothing is working on your favor, not even the worst of the worst, not even the climate is working in your favor, but then you pull off a 360 and then you go and win it for the country. And वही चीज जिसके बारे में लोग बोला करते थे कि अरे तू ये क्यों नहीं जीत रहा है, ये जीत के दिखा. So I guess like that would really be a really special one for you, and we are so happy to like जितना भी बार मैं ये बोलूं कि I am so happy to see someone doing so much, and कि मतलब कुछ अभी बोलने की भी जरूरत नहीं है उस बारे में कि this person, if he goes there, he will bring Lawrence to the nation. And I guess that belief to build in a country in the for 130 crore people, it is not easy. And I feel you should be really glad that now that everything has happened, people really look up to you. I look up to you as well. And It is really a great thing to know. Okay. So now, just tell me about, during the COVID times, as you already mentioned in the beginning, uh, before COVID, the events and, the titles, the championships were happening in the COVID and post COVID. So what transition did you go through in the COVID phase that helped you change or evolve while you played your next further tournaments?
This phase has been very tough for us. Mm-hmm. In 2020, when the first lockdown was enforced, we thought, yeah, chalo, 2-3 mahine ke baad things will be back to normal, whatever, this is just like any other flu and all. True. But we realized, yeah, this is something which is more dangerous, which is spreading very quickly. And the second lockdown, I'll tell you what, the first lockdown, I think was still okay for people to deal with mentally, because they said, anyway, we are so busy, bhag daud mein, rat race mein ghoom rahe, career, name, fame, money, people needed that kind of break. So the first lockdown was still easier to deal with because there was some kind of novelty. Mm-hmm. But after a few months, when we realized that there's the second wave coming and then the second lockdown was enforced, then that became very difficult to deal with. Mm-hmm. In terms of now what next? Already we've been sitting at home for so long, then things came back to normal. Even that normal felt very different. It was the new normal with the mask, with precautions, all of that. The second lockdown came and then people lost their mind. And fortunately, I come from a sport which requires us to be very calm, which also teaches us to accept things. Now, acceptance is something that, human beings find it very difficult to deal with, because now whether COVID is man-made, whether it's a natural thing, only time will tell what theories are there surrounding it. But the fact is everybody was frustrated. And the only thing to do is to accept that this is what it is. Now we can't change. We can't take back COVID. We can't get rid of it. We can only get vaccinated eventually. And that also took its fair share of time, because for the vaccines to be prepared in bulk and to cater to the entire population. So patience and acceptance. Just like, when we go to our tournaments or, any sports person goes, they have to adapt to different conditions. They have to get acclimatized. Yeah. They have to get acclimatized to the conditions. They have to adapt and accept that, okay, this is what it is. Now, how do we work around it? Right. Similarly, I found that during this COVID time, I got to do things that I normally didn't get to do because I was on the road living out of a suitcase for most part of the time. I got to spend more time with my family, quality time with my loved ones. I got married in the beginning of the year. So I got time to work on my marriage or my personal life. And I felt like for a change, my career wasn't my top priority, So it's a different way of looking at things. And only if we can look at life differently based on what is put in front of us, things become a lot easier. But if we dwell on the past and we say, yaar, ye kyun ho raha hai, wo kyun ho raha hai, and, why can't we get on with life? I understand it's frustrating. So I started watching a lot of, television, OTT shows, different documentaries, different sports people, learning about different things. I even learned to do a little bit of the household work at home, which we guys aren't used to doing because there was no maid, no domestic help. So it just gave us an opportunity to learn different things and do different things that we would normally not do. Okay. But the whole idea was to accept and to adapt to the situation. And of course, when the lockdown was lifted, I went back to practice. Of course, then the physical fitness, everything comes into a play. And slowly came back. And I felt that I came back with renewed vigor and even more hunger when I played my Asian and World Cup events in Doha in September. Because I was away from the game for so long. It just made me even more excited and even more hungry to come back stronger. But a lot of people may have lost out on that, motivation. I'll say, yeah, Abhi, now 1.5 years is up. But I'm that kind of person who never gives up. I think by now you know that the moment that opportunity comes, I need to take it.
Really, really great to know that. And, everything you said about that and seeing how to, know what is needed to be worked on ourselves, the mental health, the time you need to spend with your family and all of that plays such an important role in our lives, which we realized by someone eating in something in China and then something happening here. तो उसके वजह से हमको वो realization यहाँ पे हुआ. But then I guess if we take out the negative side, there are many positives to it. And, things are better and, way better than before, because we people have figured ourselves out mentally, acha ye hai, ye wo hai, and figuring that out. Okay. So अभी जैसे आपने इसकी बात करी, so just tell me, 3 things that you are now mastered in the household work जो आपने लॉकडाउन में सीखी है.
I think jhadu, pocha,
Okay.
and buying good bread.
Oh wow.
So, I used to go for my walks and, get bread during the lockdown. And now bread also needs to be soft, but it cannot be too crumbly and it should not break. At the same time, if it's stale, then it's a little hard. So, I mean, these are very small, maybe not very significant things, but yet there are things at the end of the day.
Little things that are important for the household as well. But yeah, really nice to know that even you even have that talent in you to buy some high class bread in that sense.
I mean, when it comes to the kitchen, I'm zero. When it
Oh,
comes to cooking, I'm absolutely zero. And people,
when it comes to eating, what is your favorite thing? What's that one favorite thing if you had to say?
yeah, I'm a pure vegetarian. I'm sure many of you are. But I also believe that all good things in life begin with the letter P.
Okay.
And so paneer is my favorite.
Oh wow. Paneer, everyone loves paneer. Okay. It is a really fun conversation. Tell me something about your marriage. I mean, वो होता है कि वेडिंग्स काफी सारी होस्ट कर लेता हूँ, तो पति पत्नियों को सवाल पूछना इज थोड़ा सा वो भी मेरे को बहुत ज्यादा मजा आता है. सो as you are here, okay, so just tell me, how did life change before marriage and after marriage, and ki the things, it could be in something nice way, or in a funny way, or anything like that, anything that you find ki acha ye mere mein badlav aaya, acha this thing has changed.
It's very different, when you're single, you don't have to share anything with anybody, and suddenly you have a life partner, and you've got to think in terms of a team. So everything you do, you're not doing it for yourself anymore. On you're representing only yourself. You're representing you and your wife. So even if it's a small thing like sending a gift or sending a WhatsApp message to a group of people, you start including your wife. So it's actually a partnership, I would say, marriage. And before marriage, you're completely free in terms of your time, in terms of your space and everything. But after you get married, then you have to understand that you every decision you make, whether it's at home or even your daily routine, you have to keep your life partner and of course your family in mind. So that change is there, and it's good. I think the next stage, whenever that happens, when you get kids, I mean, for us it's still a long way off because we're newly married. Then you think in terms of your child. Everything decision you make, you take your child into consideration. So it's a very interesting phase of life, and it definitely made me more busy. So whenever I go to practice, even though it's a fewer hours compared to before, I make sure that I concentrate and I devote quality. So for me, it's quality over quantity, and I think that's the change that's taken place.
Absolutely. And really happy. I hope everything is going great in your life, the marriage life, your family life, and even your professional career, everything is going super great. And if you had to say, there is one thing that every new person who is trying to choose a field, a career, be it any sport, or anything that is passionate about, what are the things that if he would keep in mind that would help him achieve his goal, reach there in like a great time?
See, first you have to find something that you're passionate about. Secondly, I feel that you have to dream big. Never think of anything as impossible. So thirdly, you need to have the belief. Now I'll tell you, a lot of people have the ability. Ability is what you can do, but many people lack the belief. Belief is knowing that you can do it.
Right, exactly.
So to have self-belief, to be able to, and not belief in terms of just showing outwardly through your body language or with a swag or not, that belief from within. I need to work hard. I need to figure out. So I think, these things are very important. You need to dream big. You need to believe in yourself, most importantly. And of course, be passionate about the job you do. Like a lot of parents, they put their children into cricket just because it has more money, but their child may not even be talented in it.
Right.
Maybe their talent lies somewhere else. Maybe it's in technology and fine arts, or maybe another sport. So find what you are good at and what you enjoy doing, and only then pursue it. Because for me, when I took up billiards and snooker, I knew that this is something I want to do for a long time. as opposed to any other thing that I was exposed to as a kid.
Wow, that was quite some, motivation for all the people in this meeting and, watching this live on YouTube. There are hundreds and thousands of people are watching this, and it is some really nice things to take away from this. And I hope all of us and, all of everybody in here out there listening to you would know, and, at least थोड़ा सा उन्होंने figure out कर लिया होगा कि अच्छा कि मतलब ये चीजें है, ये चीजों पे मेरे को ध्यान देना है, ऐसे करना है, वैसे करना है. While we were talking, I noticed one thing. आपका जो नाम है Zoom पे, that is Punks. So is there a story behind that nickname, or what it is exactly?
The first title which I won in 2003 in China, the coach over there, Michael Ferreira, he started calling me Young Punks.
Oh.
And that's how this nickname caught on. And then everybody at home, my friends circle, I have a lot of nicknames. I don't want to share the other ones because they're a little embarrassing. But the name that stuck on the most is Punks, Punks.
Punks. Punks.
Yeah, a lot of people write Panks, but actually I would like it to be, called Punks, Punks.
Yeah.
And that caught on, because in 2003, when I won my first title, I think the coach mentioned also to the media that Young Punks was phenomenal, whatever, all of that. And nowadays, yeah, all my friends, my cousins, my relatives, my family, they all call me Punks. And I prefer to be called by that name instead of Pankaj. I find Pankaj very too formal, a little boring also. Of course, it's got a lovely meaning. It means lotus. And, lotus blossoms from the mud and dirt, and it rises and it, shows its true self. So,
and indeed, I believe you did live up to that name, and you did do justice to that. And nobody else would be more proud than your own parents. And I believe that, बचपन से आपको family से, माँ बाप से, and your brothers, your friends, you might have gotten the utmost belief and, support from each and everybody around you. And I believe that, you were in a good environment for you to reach where you have reached.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. So one out of the box question. Okay. So जैसे आपने अभी, लॉकडाउन में इतनी सारी मूवीज देखी, इतना सब किया, एक सेकंड के लिए ऐसा कोई थॉट आया कि अगर यार बॉलीवुड से कभी कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी आ गई तो ले लेनी है, या क्या सीन?
I don't know really where my talent lies, but look, I mean, Bollywood is a huge industry. There's so many, it's like, I come to Bombay often also, and I see these actors and all. I'm like, yeah, sometimes you get a complex. They're like, these guys are so good looking. Even the TV serials, for that matter, not only the films or the big screen. Yeah, I think that I'd rather people talk about me in the format of a film or like a biopic. I would be happier with that rather than being on the big screen myself. Because I don't know where my talent lies. I mean, I think my talent lies on the billiards and snooker table, that 12x6 table. I'm very happy with that. But, I would love, if for the game to be more embraced and recognized. I feel like in India, there's Bollywood, there's cricket, and there's politics. And I think we can't think beyond these three things, unfortunately. But that's changing. That's changing in the world of sport.
Evolving one day at a time. Everybody is evolving right here. And अभी जैसे आपके एक सर ने आपको उस टाइम पूछा था, कॉलेज के प्रोफेसर ने, कितने साल में आप वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बनोगे? So if I have to say, कितने साल में पंकज अडवाणी जी की अगर बायोपिक आनी है तो वो कितने साल में आएगी?
I would be conservative because I under promise and over deliver. For me, it's always been about that. Even when I answer my exams, I'll say I'll get 70, but eventually I get 80. I always underplayed. So I would say 3 to 4 years, but hopefully it could be sooner. So let's hope for a quicker one.
Nobody would be everybody will be, really looking forward to it. And ऐसा कोई नहीं होगा जो ये नहीं देखना चाहेगा कि आपकी जर्नी एक्चुअल में रही कैसे. आपके जुबान से सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है, मगर जब वो देखेंगे आपकी जर्नी और उससे कनेक्ट करेंगे और ज्यादा, आई गेस दैट वुड हेल्प पीपल नो यू, नो द स्पोर्ट, एंड हैंड इन हैंड इवेंचुअली दोनों चीजें एक साथ ऊपर आएगी यहाँ पर. रियली ग्रेट.
आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर. थैंक
यू सो मच. ओके, सो अभी यहाँ पे हमारे पास ऑडियंस भी है ऑन द Zoom कॉल. So हमारी conversation के साथ साथ let's take a few questions from the audience panel as well. So yes.
Hi, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Hi, sir. So my name is Raj, and I just had one question. Like you already said that billiard is not a like the mainstream sport of India. Like cricket is more famous, and there are many famous more sports which receive also more support initial stages. And you told us like how you had to like pay for the transportation like while you were starting off as your career. Do you think that's changed like right now after years, or is it still the same? Or are there any improvements? Because like young talent, like are there many more people also who are going towards billiards and not any mainstream sport like cricket?
No, things have definitely changed. I would just say that the change has been very gradual in the sense that, there are public sector companies, your PSUs, railways, and all organizations recruiting players. So in terms of security, there's a lot more support coming out for athletes across different sports. However, I think that change is too gradual. I still feel that India is still predominantly a one sport nation. And in terms of corporate support, I think a lot more can be done. Although there are 3, 4 sports now, your football also it's picked up a lot. Kabaddi is picked up now. Badminton, of course. So, but we still need to embrace more different kind of sports.
Right.
And I still feel there's a lot more work to be done. But it has changed. It has changed from, over the years.
Okay, sir. That was one more question.
All right. Thank you so much, Raj. Next, we have.
Yeah. Hi, sir. I'm actually originally from Bangalore, and since you've also been in Bangalore for a long time, I wanted to know what's the most favorite thing for you to do in Bangalore? What do you enjoy the most about the city?
Honestly, now it's been raining so much, I hardly have the time to step out. But the weather is amazing. So, even just going out there and experiencing the weather, especially in the evenings, going for walks, going to outdoor cafes is something that I really enjoy doing. Um, uh, because you don't get this weather I've been to over 40 countries, and I've never experienced the kind of weather that Bangalore has. So any outdoor activity, would be something that I would love doing in Bangalore, provided it's not raining like now. But during normal months and when the weather is really nice and pleasant, just go out for a outdoor, there's so many outdoor cafes, even rooftop restaurants and places. So yeah, that would be my favorite thing to do.
Thank you, Anjana. Thank you so much.
Hi, sir. This is Nishi, and I just had one question for you. Apart from billiards, which other sports did you enjoy playing with your friends in childhood?
Ooh, there are quite a few sports, like table tennis, cricket, basketball. In fact, when I started playing billiards and snooker, and I approached my coach, Mr. Arvind Savur, because he was the best person to be trained by. And I knew the moment I saw him and the moment I saw him play, I said, I have to be coached by this man. So the first time I approached him, he said, "You're too short." So he refused me. And that was the worst day of my life. I started crying. I went onto my mom's lap and I said, "Listen, I have to gain a few inches in height." So I went to basketball because, with basketball, you keep jumping and you keep stretching.
Right.
So I actually liked playing basketball a lot until I hit my head on the ground once. And I said, "I'm stopping basketball forever."
Great. Thank you so much, Nishi. Do we have?
Yeah, so
All right.
hi sir, I'm Takshil. So how does it feel like winning your first world title at the age of 18 and you were named as the youngest national champion of India? Like, what were you feeling at that time?
When I was in China, we did not have any vegetarian food to eat. So we were living off these packets, those ready to eat and eat packets that you would just put in hot water for 3 to 4 minutes. And that's how we've actually survived on that kind of food, and maybe even pizzas, because it was so difficult to get food over there. And we were in the interiors of China. And now back in 2003, I was 18 years old. So, I was a little more flexible in my habits and stuff. But I never knew that I would end up winning that world title because it had over 80 players and we had 9 group matches to play in the round robin stage. And 4 players would qualify. And I finished number 3 in my group. In fact, I'd lost a couple of matches. So it was a very tough event to win. And, to become the youngest Asian to win that title at that age was just, it was an amazing feeling. And the feeling did not sink in. And honestly, a lot of players told me that only when you come back to India will you realize the magnitude of your achievement, because I was received by hundreds of people and I was taken all over the city in a motorcade. And that's when I realized that shit, sorry about that, but it's really a big achievement. But until I reached India, I never imagined that I could lift such a big title. And then it just felt like a dream. Even today, when I talk about it, I just feel like it was a dream.
All right. So those were some great questions, and it was nice to know the audience asking you some questions, and even they getting to interact with you. All right. So Anjana said something about you being in Bangalore right now. So I would like to say ki nanaku Kannada baratte sir. Do you know Kannada?
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗೊತ್ತು.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Sorry. Okay, so let's do one thing, okay? So just say something for the audience out here in Kannada.
Oh my God.
Huh.
I'm stumped. I don't think I'll be able to put the sentence together.
That
I
is
can
what
understand. I can understand Kannada. I can't speak much, unfortunately.
How many years?
I'm not as talented as you, my friend.
No, actually, it's not like ऐसे कि कि मैंने वो भाषा सीखी है, but then I have been living in Karnataka all my life. Now I've been shifted to Mumbai, so that is how I know Karnataka, and I kept it till the last कि मैं एकदम ऐसे पंच मार दूं कि यार देखो मुझे भी कन्नड़ा आती है, सरप्राइज. चलिए,
You're amazing with languages.
अरे sir, thank you so much. Let's do one thing. What do we call it as? कन्नड़ा में आपका फेवरेट खाना डिस्क्राइब कीजिए. आपको क्या पसंद है?
Idli dosa.
इडली डोसे. निम्को
Idli
तुम्हारा
dosa, sambar. You know, a lot of
सांबार
people,
separate.
yeah, sambar separate. Jasti chutney kudi, I think is the right word.
Jasti chutney kodu. That was really fun. That was a lovely conversation, to be very honest. Last में मैं अभी, as we are on the ending note of this session, I would like to say a शायरी if you allow me. All right. यार कहते हैं बाग में फूल खिलते रहेंगे, हवा के आने पर पत्ते हिलते रहेंगे. कहते हैं बाग में फूल खिलते रहेंगे, हवा के आने पर पत्ते हिलते रहेंगे. रही मेहरबानी अगर आप सबकी मेरे साथियों, तो जैसे आज पंकज जी से हम लोग आज मिले हैं, वैसे हमेशा मिलते रहेंगे.
Wow. Amazing. I need to learn these shairis and a few languages from you on that note.
Absolutely. I would be, more than happy to teach जितना भी थोड़ा बहुत मुझे आता है to someone who knows so much and so many things about what he has to do. That is really great. And once again, sir, it was a really amazing conversations. One of, I would say, if I had to consider, like, एक ऐसी कोई memory अगर मैं अभी बताऊं, अगर कोई मुझे थोड़े टाइम बाद पूछेगा कि यार what was your that one memory, I would say, do you know what, I hosted the world number 1. I mean, this is something really great, and I am really, glad, proud to be sharing the screen with you. How do you feel about being here today, and what is going on in your mind?
Thank you for having me on this platform, or a platform of Umang. It was a very fun conversation with you. Unlike many interviews I do, which is, quite on the serious side, people ask me about my journey, discipline, hard work, and, the usual stuff. But this was a very fun, personal conversation. And I'm still taking out on that offer of learning languages after we finish.
Absolutely. It's on the table.
It's on the table. Because I'm a student for life, whether it's in my game or any other sphere. I love learning. I love absorbing knowledge. So I'm coming to you for languages, and you're most welcome to learn billiards and snooker. I'll be happy to train you in that. But I really enjoyed myself, and I'd like to wish each and every one of you and all the students who are involved in Umang the very best of luck in all your competitions, in all your future endeavors, and hope to be back soon.
Absolutely. It was a great time, listening to you. And on that ending note, I would like to, just ask you to give a thumbs up, wherein, I'll take a screenshot, and that would I keep it as a memory for me. All right. So, all right. And audience can also, give their reactions in thumbs up. That would be really great. All right. That is lovely. Let's take it in a gallery view, wherein, all the audience of hands are raised. Let's do it once more. All right, perfect. So yeah, that's it from our side. Thank you, audience, for being such an amazing audience. And once again, thank you so much. Ending note पे और एक छोटी सी शायरी अगर आप इजाजत दोगे तो मैं बोलना चाहूंगा. यार कहते हैं फूल की हंसी गुलाब है, पढ़ने के लिए जरूरी किताब है. कहते हैं फूल की हंसी गुलाब है, पढ़ने के लिए जरूरी किताब है, दुनिया में हर सवाल का जवाब है. अगर कोई मेरे बारे में पूछे तो कह देना कि भैया ये एंकर तो भाई लाजवाब है. That's it from my side. I was your host and host anchor Harsh Sharma, and thank you so much for having me here. And